Ben hasn't allowed that defeat to stop his march back to centre stage, cultivating his aggressive image in and out of the ring. Beaten opponent Anthony Logan caused this scene. Ben threatened another when face-to-face with Eubank last month. It's all part of the act. His very way with words has made him enemy number one in boxing circles, whatever his prowess inside the ring.
They talk about glory and fortune, and not fortune, they talk about fame and the glory. And so a manager comes along and says, right, you can have all the glory, you can have all the fame, and I'll have the money.
Whatever the truth of it, that sort of talk isn't on. The Brighton boxer is everybody's hate figure, not that he's the slightest worried about it.
Nigel Benn has been the name, and you see in the Sun that the Sun regards Nigel Benn as some type of a pet boy. They always give him good write-ups, and everything is said about the dark destroyer, lock your doors, the dark destroyer is here, and anyone else who is trying to break into the limelight, they shun to some extent. And I feel they've done that to me, but it means nothing, because every dog will have his day and I shall have mine.
The two appear evenly matched on paper, though the quality of some of Eubank's opposition is questioned. Ben is the bookie's favourite. He says he'll retire if Eubank beats him. But then, as Eubank might well remind him, he has the music industry to turn to should that happen. Dara McIntyre.
Europe's only regular live boxing show. In one corner, the champion Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, left a trail of destruction in his wake. His rival is the unbeaten Eubank. He's brash, he's stylish, and he's brimming with confidence. ProBox presents Ben versus Eubank, the big one.
Centre in Birmingham. Tonight, the talking stops, the fighting begins. The showdown that Britain has been waiting for. The middleweight confrontation for the World Middleweight Championship between Nigel Benn and Eubank, live.
Eubank looks good. He says, I've got no class. I've always had class in the ring. In and out the ring. I really do detest the guy. It's no height whatsoever.
This man has been watching me for at least a year and a half. He's watched my size close. I've watched him on tapes watching me, right? You're petrified, and I know you are. You're mine, it's done. It's a foregone conclusion. Should I tell you?
And in addition to the big one, the chief support, Christie against Watson. That's first up on Screen Sport on this ProBox special. special night of boxing. I'm David Brenner. Alongside me, I'm delighted to have two great British champions. Barry McGuigan, former featherweight champion of the world, joins us tonight. And we've got Jim McDonnell, the former undefeated European featherweight champion, on my right. And we, believe me, are looking forward to what should be some cracking fights. Live, uninterrupted, no delay. The big one, Benn against Eubank, coming up a little later. Right now, Errol Christie against Michael Watson, first up. The cheers that you can hear for Terry Marsh,
and ladies and
who
gentlemen,
was just
nothing you need
vaulted
to be
into the
said
ring
from ringside
to
about
huge
that.
cheers, and vaulted out again to even bigger cheers. Christian Watson, as I say, the first one up. And Michael Watson scheduled to be the first man in the ring. Oh, I tell you, it's all go here tonight. The stars are out. And indeed, it is Michael Watson first out. A man who has been not the busiest of fighters of late. Beat, of course, Nigel Benn, the only man to beat him. That epic at Finsbury Park last year. Had one fight since against Mike McCallum for the world title, which we saw on Screen Sport live, ended in Michael getting knocked out in 11 rounds. So, you can't exactly say he's on the comeback trail tonight, because the man really has fought at the highest level and proved he's got what it takes. If he's the only man to beat Nigel Benn, credentials enough. Up against him, Errol Christie, the nearly man of British boxing, the finest amateur that British boxing has ever produced. The only man to win junior, schools, boys clubs and senior titles. Michael Watson, as we all know, huge Arsenal fan. He'll have been delighted by what happened yesterday. And a man, I'm sure, who will be keeping a very close eye on the next fight we've got. Here we go. The Arsenal gun on his dressing gown. And the music booms out for Errol Christie. I guess, Barry, that for Errol Christie tonight, if he loses, it's difficult to see where he can go after this.
Yeah, this is an all or nothing fight for Errol Christie. Yeah, we've seen him beaten in the past at the top level, and really this is a very difficult fight for him indeed. But to be honest, if he can't beat Watson, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's got to decide on whether or not he should take up another profession. I really think that this is his last chance tonight, and let's not take anything away from him. He's really been a tremendous fighter in the past. I just think his punch resistance has gone, and I think Watson will win this fight.
Well, there we go, Errol Christie. Been around, hasn't he? But of those 6 defeats, some of them are against boys that he really shouldn't have had any trouble with at all. Thunderous soundtrack to Errol Christie coming out. In he gets. You can have a word with Jimmy Mack about Mike Watson. We saw him, you and I, get knocked out by Mike McCallum. Just 2 fights in the last 18 months or so, not exactly putting himself about a bit.
3-minute rounds, introducing in the red corner with the white and the red striped shorts from Islington in London, Michael Watson! And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the blue corner with the white shorts from Coventry, Errol Christie!
Errol Christie. The boos and the cheers.
And it's been weighed at noon today. Michael Watson scaled 11 stone 8 pounds. Errol Christie 11 stone 9 pounds. Your referee
Just a pound and both the boys over the championship weight limit, but only by a couple of pounds. John Coyle, the man in charge. We're scheduled for 10 rounds. Round 1 then. Gal, you're getting a few problems here in Jim McDonnell. Never mind, we'll fix that. Barry and I will talk you through round 1.
This is going to be an exciting fight. Errol Christie is very talented. All his moves are very good. His punches are tremendous, and I believe he's been looking really good in the gym against Chris Eubanks in sparring. But the problem is,
right hand.
This is what I said.
Opening seconds.
His ability to take a punch has gone, and I don't believe he's going to get through the first round. Just as I thought.
Well, he got up at 8. John Coyle perhaps should have made him box on. Crisp right hand. Watson means business. Christie trying to get the jab working.
He's got some lovely moves. He rolls in and out of punches well, but he doesn't take a good shot anymore. His problem has always been the ability to take a shot, and now his resistance has gone completely. And Watson is in with a real chance of ending this in the first round.
And Christie's cut as well.
Still 2 minutes to go, so he certainly has a chance of ending it yet. I'm sure Christie's head hasn't cleared at this stage. He's taken a tremendous right hand over the top, and his eyes are still looking very glazed.
Well, for a man who hasn't fought since April, that defeat against Mike McCallum, Watson really has come out looking very sharp.
There also looks to be a graze over Errol Christie's left eye, and he still hasn't shaken the effects of that punch. There's no question about that.
Yeah, it's just a little. Yeah, it's about 1/4 of an inch over the left eye, sort of more on the forehead than anything else on the eyebrow. On the forehead, that cut, just a little nick.
Watson's he's coming forward now because he feels he's going to let his chance slip, and he's not the greatest at coming forward, as we saw against Mike McCallum in the world title fight, where he had to come forward, but he's been very effective tonight with that right hand. Incredible shot.
Denderende opening van Watson. De verdediging is nog redelijk dicht.
Watson's loading up. He should be picking the shots a bit more. He's trying to load. He's excited about this, obviously. And it's a good start to this middleweight. Fabulous start. Christie came back with a good left hook there.
Good opening round for Michael Watson. I'm glad we've re-established contact with Jimmy Mack now. Jim, how did you see that round?
Well, it's a good round for Michael Watson. Obviously, he got through very early, and I'm surprised Christie got through the round. Actually, he was a solid right hand, and full credit to his conditioning that he has got through it, because
this right hand straight over the top.
It's a blasting shot.
Well, I gather you're still having problems with Jim McDonald's mic. We'll try and solve it again. Get a new piece of chewing gum, stick it in the business. So,
yeah, Watson's come out with a vengeance again. He wants to end this fight quickly. He's been told in his corner that Christie is badly hurt and to get it over and done with, because he has to look exciting tonight. He's going to be fighting the winner of tonight's big fight if he wins this fight, and he wants to look good in doing it. Really knockout blows. Every one of these shots are tremendous power, tremendously powerful shots. And it's a game of chess out there at the moment. They're both trying to slip shots and get inside and unload.
well, Watson looking still intensely purposeful, and Barry was absolutely right about Christie's durability, but he did do well to get through that first round.
Yeah, he did indeed, and he's coming back well.
If he gets into any sort of rhythm, he's got a shot, Christie.
He certainly has got a good shot.
He might provide Watson with one or two problems.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's shaken again now. He was hit with a good solid left and his legs dipped a bit, so he looked like he was hurt just about 10 seconds back. Now that's another solid right and left uppercut. It's a good shot. Christie's doing well to get through this onslaught. It's a very good performance so far from Michael Watson. When you think that he's been out of the ring for 6 months, his timing has been perfect.
Well, precisely, just 2 fights in the last 18 months. The win against Nigel Benn, the defeat against Mike McCallum. And he really needs this win.
It's a good right hand again. He keeps hitting Christie with that right hand. He's always been susceptible to that overarm right. And again, we see him blinking and looking at his corner. He's distressed. There's no question about that. Yes, he's in big trouble.
Look at the right side of the damage. Oh, the legs have gone. The legs suddenly from muscle turned to 2 sticks of licorice.
Look at his eyes, Dave. His eyes are all glazed,
yeah.
Very badly glazed and doubled in size. Come back with a good right hand himself there.
Courage alone keeping Christie going now. The Coventry boy really in desperate trouble. A lot of the coordination seems to have gone too, but still trying to get that jab working inside the last 30 now.
That's what happens when you get hit with a solid punch. The old black box, as they say, the control box goes haywire, and all your legs start going, your movement is all impaired, and your vision is impaired. So it's he'll do well to get through.
Well, a lot of people wondered how much that Mike McCallum defeat would have taken out of Michael Watson. The answer at the moment would seem to be not a lot. And Watson cut now underneath the left eye, right at the end of that round. Well, I gather we can hear Jim now. Jim, say something. Oh, hello.
Good to do that. I don't know what the main event's going to be like, but this has been a cracker for me so far. Absolutely on both sides. Watson's come out full of vengeance and trying to get it over very early. And Christie's done well to still be there after 2 rounds, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how he's feeling in himself, but there must be a lot of cobwebs in his leg rights now. This is a real, 2 class fighters, and, a lot of people say we've seen the best of Errol Christie, and Watson wants to come back with a bang. And he's very nearly done that tonight.
Barry, we've seen Errol Christie wobble alarmingly a couple of times already in this fight, but Michael Watson has not yet been able to land the final punch.
Yeah, that's right. But, let's give Christie a bit of credit. He's got his great ability to slip punches, and he's a very talented mover himself. So Watson has been nicked underneath the right eye, and he hasn't quite hit him with that big bomb yet. But it's coming, believe me.
Let's not forget, Watson's a good puncher from middleweight and very, very strong as well. So Christie's really put on the line tonight, so he's got to pull out his best form.
Round 3. We're scheduled for 10. Surprised if it goes that long. Christie down in the first. Good boy, and Rocky in the third.
Another right
and
hand.
clinging on desperately.
Another right hand. Superb right hand from Watson. That right hand has been devastating. Another one again, and I really don't feel this fight's going to go much further. John Coyle's taking a close look at Christie. He's still badly shaken. Look at his eyes. He's hit him with the elbow.
Oh, right hand again, and he's gone.
This is the end of the fight, Dave. The referee's not going to let it continue.
No. It's all over. It's got to be all over. No. He says he beat the count, but John Coyle says enough is enough. And that, I think, might well be the last time we ever see Errol Christie in a professional boxing ring. In a funny sort of way, Jim, I hope that he does now, if you like, take the hint and call it a day.
Yeah, it's very, very sad to see such a talent like Errol Christie finish like that, obviously, but I'm sure that would be the right decision.
Michael Watson then, back with a vengeance, Barry.
Absolutely sparkling performance. He done everything that was asked of him. He's come back after 6 months out of the ring. And what about that for a performance? Absolutely breathtaking. Tremendous right hand over the top to finish the fight. And he's in there with the winner of tonight's big fight.
Errol Christie, well, he had the chance tonight to really re-establish himself at the very top of the tree, but Michael Watson, despite the fact that this was his first outing since the McCallum knockout loss in April, proves that he is still very much a force to be reckoned with in the middleweight division. So, a cracking start to this championship, this World Championship evening of boxing at the NEC. What we're going to do is take a short pause. Don't go too far away, because we'll be right back.
One more time for the winner.
That gave Michael Watson a third-round knockout victory over poor Errol Christie. And the fact that that one has finished inside schedule gives us a chance to see another bright youngster who's making a bit of a name for himself, Herbie Hyde. If Nigel Benn is the Dark Destroyer, Herbie Hyde calls himself the Dancing Destroyer. And, well, I know that you and I, Jim, have seen him in action a few times on Pro Box.
At the moment, he's coming along great guns, but it's funny you're talking about Herbie. I was talking to him earlier, and just boxing on his bill tonight, I was like frightening the life out of him, but he asked me for a little bit of advice, and I just told him to basically go out and enjoy himself. It's all part of the learning process, and tonight that certainly will be for his temperament, because, you know, he was really a little bit concerned.
Way 8, there's Gaza. Tottenham 1, Everton 1 at Goodison today. And, by all accounts, Gascoigne, a pretty fair game. All the stars out in force. I can remember, Barry, when you won the world title at Loftus Road, I think there were more celebrities than boxing fans in the audience.
Yeah, well, my big regret was that I wasn't able to fight there and get out and watch the audience and watch the crowd and watch the atmosphere. And being here tonight, you know, it brings all the old nerves back. You know, I'm supposed to be commentating, and being a commentator and being a boxing fan and being an ex-fighter is very difficult. The whole combination of watching a world title fight is really getting to me. It's a tremendous atmosphere here tonight. Absolutely amazing. There's nothing like a world title fight, and definitely something special.
I can remember I was sitting quite near Frank Carson, and he, every time he hit Pedrosa, he was saying, "That's the way to hit him. That's the way to hit him."
That's a good. I must give him that one. I'm doing panto with him this year in Lewisham, so I must tell him about that one.
Here we go then. Herbie Hyde against Steve Lewsom. Lewsom first in. We can look at his record in a minute. You can see, can't you, just how crammed this NEC is. Boy from Grimsby, striding purposefully into the ring. There we go. Ranked 14 by Boxing Weekly. 13 fights, not a bad record. 13 fights, 9 wins. A couple of draws, just a couple of defeats. And 2 wins by the short route. And I would think, Jim, you know, fighting what might well be the fight before a world title fight. I mean, for guys like Steve Lewsom, Herbie Hyde, it's a hell of an opportunity, but as you said, it's a very daunting thing.
More than a test of their abilities, it's a test of their temperament, and that also goes for the big fighter, Eubank, who's never been at this level before, how he can handle it as well. And you can never tell, and this is like certainly going to be a great experience for Herbie Hyde if he intends to go on to bigger and better things. You can't buy the experience. The atmosphere is buzzing here, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
absolutely
it's slowly
fantastic.
building. It's just mounting and mounting and mounting. Remember, the main fight, the world title fight, live, in full, no delay. You'll see the whole thing as it happens, start to finish. And unless my eyes very much mistake me, Sunita.
They're not mistaken, Dave, that's Sunita.
Didn't know she was a fight fan.
This is one of them events where people come to be seen,
Yes, you're right.
fight fans or not.
Well, here comes Herbie. Actually, I bumped into him in the lift at our hotel, just round the corner from the NEC, and he wasn't his normal sort of bouncy, cheerful self. He was looking a little bit tense. But then again, for a boy of 19, what can you expect? Perfect record: 7 fights, 7 wins, 7 KOs. I think we see most of them on Pro Box as well.
That's right, Dave.
I've just been nudged in the back by Gary Lineker. Don't think it was anything I said.
Lucky you weren't kicked.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest
Here's Alan Hughes then.
A cruiserweight contest.
I thought that Herbie looked very relaxed.
3-minute rounds. Introducing in the red corner with the white shorts from Grimsby, Steve Lewson. And his opponent in the blue corner with the black shorts from Norwich, Herbie Hyde. At the weigh at 12 o'clock today, Lucian scaled 13 stone 11 pounds, Hyde 13 stone 10 and a half pounds.
Well, just 8 ounces in it, which at cruiserweight is nothing at all. Mike Donovan, the man in charge. Freddie King with Herbie Hyde. A nice gesture from Freddie, a little pat on the back for Steve Lewson. And no cracks, please, about Winsome Lewsome.
Like that one, Dave.
And we're off. Scheduled for 6.
We must remind you that Herbie Hyde is known as a good puncher.
Well, Freddie reckons that one day he's going to fill out, become a full-blown heavyweight, and
good shot, left out the cut.
What a start. Well, shall we dance?
I say it early, but Lewson's got a good chin. He took that right on the button.
That's the way to come out. Oh, wow. Steve Lewson's enthusiasm perhaps getting the better of him momentarily.
He's certainly fired up, and if Herbie has got any nerves, he needs to shake him out of his system very quickly.
Now Herbie just wants to settle down.
Now Herbie's got to do what he's good at. He's good at making people miss, making them swaying away from the shots, getting that stiff left hand working, and letting every artillery come behind that. That's what he's going to need to do here.
Lewson realises that this fight going live all over the world, got a chance to make a name for himself against the highly touted youngster.
He seems to be feeding off the atmosphere, Lewson, at the moment. He's come out like a wild tiger let out of the cage. Good sharp right hand counter.
Just needs to settle down a little bit. He's been thrown out a bit, I think, by the atmosphere and also by the fact that Lewson's come out banging.
Good left hook there, Dave. Lewson's got a good chin. He's took two.
Well, he has. He's only lost the 2.
He's got a couple of good solid shots.
Oh, what a good right. What a good right.
Beautiful punch.
Straight up at 4.
He's in trouble though, Dave. The cobwebs are in his legs right now. Herbie could finish it here.
Oh, Lewson really got Mike Donovan. I think he's going to stop this any minute, is he? No.
He's right on the borderline of waiting to jump in. Herbie flailing away a little bit of inexperience showing there.
Measuring him. That's enough, surely.
Fair play to Lewson. He's kept his hands in a good position, holding, trying to let his head clear.
Herbie banging away like a good one, but he's flailing a bit. That's it, all over.
And a one-man win for Herbie Hyde. The cracking right hand that started off inevitable.
It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Comes over to where Jim and I are sitting, with Barry shrugs, says, well, what can you do? Well, all you can do is win.
That's right, mate.
Can't do much better than winning the first round.
The old saying in boxing, you don't get paid for overtime. Herbie won't be complaining.
Right. That's right. Oh, never mind. A win is a win is a win. 8 out of 8. 8 by KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 2 minutes and 38 seconds of the first round, the referee, Mike Donovan, has stopped the contest. Herbie Hyde is the winner. And ladies and gentlemen,
I bet Herbie's thinking to himself, I don't know what I was so nervous about now. He's really enjoying the moment. And obviously you can do when it's all over.
I think he probably wishes he'd had a chance to go through the full repertoire and pull out all the shots and show the world what he could do.
I'm sure once that bell went, them nerves went as well.
So, Herbie Hyde in 1. We're going to take a break, but we won't be away for too long. We're at the NEC. Don't forget the big one. Benn against Eubank. Live, uninterrupted, without delay, is our main event.
Matchroom Club bring you exclusively the best of Matchroom Boxing, a unique 2-volume video collection of great boxing moments from the 89-90 season, available only through the TV store on 081 569 8900. Each video has 80 minutes of non-stop big fight action, 34 fights, 10 knockouts and many more knockdowns, from local scrap to settling world title belts. From the comfort of your own home, see the big ones, Jim McDonnell via Zuma Nelson, Mike McCullum v Michael Watson. Watch Mark Reefer and Chris Eubank. And look out for the up-and-comers, Mickey Hughes, Carl Crook, Hugh Ford and Errol McDonald. Each video only $14.99.
Well, again, welcome back to the NEC. Well, owing to that swift victory for Herbie Hyde, what we're going to do is show you a fight that took place a little earlier between Sean Heron and Dave Owens. It's scheduled for 8 rounds. Barry McGuigan's joining me on the commentary, and we pick up the fight at the start of round 2.
Round 2.
Second round. No great fireworks in the first, but you get the feeling that Heron is like a bomb waiting to go off.
Yeah, he's very solid indeed, and he's definitely a good puncher. I see him opening his mouth there. I wonder, has he hurt his jaw? He's switching from southpaw to orthodox. What I don't like is he's dropping his hands quite often, and no matter how good you are, you can't afford to drop your hands with any guy when you're in there. Because
he does carry that right very low, doesn't he?
Yeah, he carries the right and left low, and he's exposed to both an overarm right and a left hook. He's a solid puncher, but he's dangerous tactics. This he's got too much for. He's definitely got too much for Owens, but he can't afford to do that as he steps up in class.
Owens, of course, vastly more experienced. He's had about 4 times as many fights as the Edinburgh boy. And the crowd, or at least some sections of it, getting a little bit frustrated by the comparative lack of action. Yeah. Well, that was the left, but it hardly seemed to connect.
Yeah,
no count.
Hurt him with a body punch there. That's a nice right hand over the top. Watch Heron to finish the job now. He's very compact. If he thinks his opponent's hurt in any way, he'll put it all together.
Mike Donovan breaks him up. Owens didn't take a count then. Seemed more surprised than that for the second time this fight. Catches Heron with a right.
Yeah, again. Heron's got to watch that as he makes progress. He can't afford to leave his hands down like that. And this is a big solid guy. Good right hand with good left hook. He's a good combination puncher and he's a good switch hitter too.
And Owens looks a little bit weary now. Those body shots are really hurting.
It would seem that a sustained attack here will finish Owens. There's no question about that. Heron is much the better and much the sharper puncher. Can't afford to hang that chin out like that. It's a vital mistake. I'm surprised Bobby Neal hasn't warned him about that before now.
He will. Right after this fight.
After this round, I should think.
About 10 seconds left of this second round. Had a brief knockdown. Maybe we can take another look at that in just a moment. Bobby Neal and Sean Heron. The whistles you can hear, not for those two gentlemen, but for the blonde who's carrying the ring cards.
This is the controversial knockdown. It looked to me like a body shot. He hit him with
a
like
left hook to the chin.
It looked like a right hand to the
missed.
body, delayed reaction punch to the body, and then he sort of staggered over.
Well,
he got up shaking his head, but it looked like it hurt him with the body punch. He looked a bit perturbed.
I think we're agreed on one thing, Jim. Whatever knocked him down, it certainly wasn't a slip. It was a genuine knockdown. But third round, scheduled 8. Sean Heron in the tartan trunks. David Owens in the black. Owens been down once without a count in round 2.
Just come back with a good right hand there, Dave. If this kid doesn't hold his hands up, don't be surprised if he gets knocked on his butt. I'm telling you, he's taking chances here, walking forward, not using his jab enough, and letting the bombs go. But as he walks in, he's exposing his chin.
Owens has won 10 by KO, so we might find out if Heron's got a chin tonight.
Definitely a very compact and solid hitter on the inside, but as he walks in, he leaves his chin hanging out. Can't afford to do that.
I don't know what you feel about the switch hitting, Barry, but I'd prefer him to see getting the basics right before he starts fooling around from orthodox to southpaw and back again.
That's exactly. It's like learning to run before you walk. You've got to get your balance right. You've got to get your jab working, and then get your combinations going. You only use that switch hitting tactics if you get confused. So there's a good right hand he's after taking.
He
Heron.
still keeps getting caught with that right hand. Owens isn't getting many through, but he's in each of the rounds so far he's landed a right bang on the chin, and as Barry so rightly says, can't afford to take too many liberties in this game.
You notice how much more confident Owen has become in the last round, round and a half. He's starting to stand his ground now and trade a bit, which he hasn't been doing up until now. See, watch what Heron's doing. He's not using his jab. He's been out jabbed himself, yet he's trying to throw bombs from the outside. And as he walks in, he loads up and leaves his chin hanging out. He's not trying to use that jab. The bread and butter punch is the jab. That's the one you set up all your combinations with. That's a push. He threw him over there.
And Mike Donovan has a little word with Heron, who comes steaming back in.
One's coming back now with using that jab. He's fighting more from the centre of the ring, pulling in and out of range and jabbing himself and connecting quite a few punches.
The jab that Heron's got, you can call it a jab, it's more a sort of flick from the elbow. End of the round. So in David Owens' corner now. And the corner must be getting a little more optimistic about this fight. Yeah. That was the push.
Yeah, that was a shove to the ground. We may see an example of that right hand that have been landing. Owens, he must be getting more confident at this stage. Certainly his corner's got to be telling him, the old guy in his corner's telling him, use that right hand. I can see him from here. Use the left jab and the right. And that's what he's got to do. Because he's well in the fight. Obviously, Heron has won the first couple of rounds, but the only way for him to get back into this and to win the fight is to start exchanging punches from the centre of the ring.
Second round, round 4.
Fourth round now. And Sean Heron from Edinburgh in the tartan trunks. Probably in front by virtue of a good couple of early rounds, but David Owens, the Yorkshire boy in black, edging back into this fight now.
Yeah, this is definitely not a one-horse race by any chance. It's Heron's winning the fight, but Owen has come into the fight in the last round and a half. And he's starting to hit Heron more. Heron must have been told in the corner to start keeping his hands up and use that jab. That's what he's got to do if he wants to get rid of Owens.
Well, with Bobby Neal in the corner, one of the best in the business. Advisor and manager to champions past and present.
Yes, Bobby worked with Lloyd Honeyghan. He's worked with the best of them, and I'm sure he must have told him, you've got to keep your hands up, use that jab, and then they unloaded the combinations as you get close to him.
Well, bearing in mind that, as we've said, Barry, Owens is a wily old bird, had over 40 fights. He's, to a sense, exposing Sean Heron's limitations tonight.
Yes, he has indeed. There's no question that he's not intimidated by Heron in any way. He's able to tuck up and take most of those body shots, although those pair there hurt him. He's coming back. He's starting to exchange blows in the centre of the ring. He's using the jab. He's out jabbing Heron, which shouldn't be the case. But he's out jabbing him, and he's hitting him with the occasional punch. But let's not get carried away. Heron's winning the fight.
Oh, that was a good solid straight left from Heron. He speared through his opponent's guard, jerking his head back. Oh, yes.
There you go, you see, as soon as you use a jab, the right hand will come afterwards, and the combinations after that. Oh, he walks onto a good jab himself, Heron.
Every time you think Heron is just starting to dominate this fight, back comes Owens, and you start to wonder. I've got to say, Jim, the Scots boy's a bit too easy to hit for my liking.
Yeah, he's at this stage in his career, he's got to use his. He's got to start using his jab, and his combinations are brilliant. But he's not using the bread and butter punch. There's a good body shot.
Straight left.
Yeah.
Into the solar plexus.
He's hurt him.
That has distressed Owens.
Yeah. Got to keep on top of him now. Let's see what he can do. Oh, good right hand.
Owens forced to hold.
Coming to the end of the round, so he's got to make it quick.
Had a chance there to finish it, is Sean Heron. Oh, a gorgeous left hook. Right into the solar plexus. And that really affected David Owens. In Sean Heron's corner right now. And I would think Bobby Neal saying more of the same.
Get a glimpse of this body shot. Beautiful. Straight through the middle. Lovely shot. He had switched to southpaw, hit him with the left hand. And down Owens went. He's having most success with body punches, but to enable him to get in there, he's got to use that jab again. Bob and weave, get close and then unload those body punches, which are wicked.
Fifth round. Sean Heron from Edinburgh in the tartan. And his opponent, David Owens from Castleford in Yorkshire. Down briefly without taking account in the second. And in the last round, the fourth, very nearly had him going again with a peach of a left to the body. But had Owens doubled up but not down. You'd have thought, Barry, that Bobby Neal might have told Heron to pick the pace up in this round.
Yeah.
Because he must be feeling the effects of the body shots, Owens.
Yeah, he should take up the initiative now. I mean, I'm sure he hasn't overcome that body punch at this stage. Heron should be on top of him again. He's not using anything at all. He still has his hands down by his head, switching from southpaw to orthodox and doing nothing. He's got to pick up the momentum right away. Now there's a good body shot again. He's got plenty of the round left. He's got to continue with those body shots and just work Owens over. He's going to win this fight.
That's right. He knows exactly what to do. He knows the route to victory. It's the body. He knows he can hurt his man.
Nice punches to head and body. He just isn't throwing enough of them. He's got to, when he's on the ropes like that, he's got to start working, switching the angles, shuffle his feet to the side and work from the other angle. And he's got to get them hands up, I'm telling you, it's silly. The name of the game is not to get hit. Hit without being hit, and he's not doing the right thing, holding his hands down by his waist. He's got loads of power. There's another superb right hand over the top.
He's a durable bloke, this David Owens.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's a toughie.
Took this fight at short notice. Actually, it was probably the only way he could get into the NEC and watch the main event. Oh, it's an unusual feint with the right, to say the least, waving to his friends in the 3 and 9s, and Owens taking advantage to land a couple of crisp jabs.
He's going for the body all the time. He should be throwing head punches and then switching to the body. The name of the game is to disguise your punches. They're the ones that have the effect, the ones that get through without you actually seeing them. So he's not disguising enough. He's just rushing in there with very solid looking punches. But of course he's not that experienced yet. This is a good experience for him. He's got to learn to be able to have patience and come back.
Left it too late for this round.
I'm afraid so. Owens with a distressed look in his face as he went back to the corner there. I think he was pleased to hear the bell. I don't know what sort of condition he's in. He has taken this fight at short notice, but he certainly has done well up to now to stick it out.
Yes, if there are any doubts at all about his fitness, we'll know soon enough.
There's that right hand and a left hook as Heron came forward. Notice the habit he has of opening his mouth. I don't know what that's for. I remember a guy called Adolfo Virabet who opened his mouth when he fought for the world lightweight title and got his jaw broke, so it's not a wise move.
Round 6. Sean Heron dominating proceedings. The boy from Edinburgh in the tartan trunks. And maybe Bobby Neal in the corner has told him to pep things up a bit.
I think what Owen was told was when he's unloading with punches from a distance to actually shuffle forward a bit, because if you watch Heron's actually staying there. He's just pulling his head back out of the way, but he's not getting back with his feet. So if you step forward with a shuffle, you can actually reach him with those punches. His hands are down by his side, and he has never changed that tactic throughout the fight. He's taking unnecessary chances and been hit with silly punches that he shouldn't be hit with, because he's leaving his hands around his waist. I think Owens is beginning to show the signs of wear and tear. He's beginning to feel the pace a bit. And Heron senses that he's piling on the pressure now.
But as so often during this fight, we've seen Owens seemingly in trouble, coming back. And every so often he brings over that right, catches Heron flush on the jaw, and as Barry says, silly punches to take, really.
Well, the old fighters say don't take any punches. Everyone's a nail in your coffin, and you don't need to take any. You take enough in the gym, so he shouldn't be holding his hands down there. But I don't want to be too critical. He's only a young kid with a little bit of professional experience, so he's really coming on, and he's beginning to pile the pressure on Owens, and Owens is beginning to feel the pace. Those body shots are doing it.
Might have tried through straight up the middle. Might pay dividends for him.
Yeah, he's loading up with all his punches. He's inclined to show them, telegraph them a bit. And that's the reason Owen is actually seeing them before they hit him. He's got his hand up.
Some 20 seconds to go of this round.
It's an awful silly thing to do, to keep those hands down. I mean,
yes, he shuddered to think what a heavy puncher might have done to him.
Owens is going to last this round too.
And Sean Heron, I thought he was going back to the wrong corner then. Taps his man on the back.
I think he maybe thought he'd done enough. The 6 rounds is maybe the end of the fight. It must be a terrible disappointment to realise he's got 2 more rounds to do. I think that's actually what happened, Dave.
I think you're right.
He went to the end of the. He went to his opponent's corner, thinking that was the end of the round. He's got 2 more to do.
The good news is, though, he's getting paid for an 8-rounder. Actually, maybe he's getting paid for a 6-rounder. Who knows?
With Barry Henshaw, I'm sure that he's getting well paid.
I'm sure he is. Well, Sean Heron finding himself with at least an extra round or maybe 2. One of the dafter things you get in boxing sometimes at the end of the last round. Thought it was the end of the fight. Went over to congratulate David Owens and found to his bemusement that a couple more to go. This is an 8-rounder. And you can't help but get the feeling, Barry, that Heron really should have had this all wrapped up and be back in the dressing room by now.
Yeah, I think so. We're maybe not giving Owens enough credit for his durability, but I mean, Heron had him in trouble 3 or 4 times and wasn't able to make a sustained effort and end the fight. But you know, as I said, he's only a young pro, and I think he was disappointed that the fight wasn't over 35 seconds ago. But he's coming back well, and he's still well in front.
Well, for a guy of 36, which David Owens is, he's really doing well. He's a little bit marked up now underneath both eyes, as he's taken some stick. But well, they say that boxing's a learning game, and I reckon that Heron will have learned a few little tricks of the trade tonight.
Well, the idea is to learn and not get hurt in the process. With his hands down that low, had Owen have been a better puncher, he might have learned a very severe lesson. And there's still time to go. He's still hanging that chin out, and there's still a round and a half to go. So, you know, don't be surprised if he lands one of those very solid punches. Heron's probably showing a bit of tiredness at this stage too. This is maybe the first time he's done 8 rounds, and he's beginning to feel the pace. Walked onto a good right hand there.
Well, we've seen some astonishing turnarounds in the last few weeks on Pro Box. Remember when Tony Yakubia was so far behind against Alex Dixon in that light welter title fight, came back, KO'd his man in 11. Well, I'm going to give David Owens that sort of puncher's chance.
That's what makes the game of boxing so exciting, is the knockout punch, and it can come at any time in the 12 rounds or 8 rounds or 10 rounds, whatever it may be.
And what Kevin Pritchard did to Hughie Ford.
Those body punches are beautiful. Oh, it's just superb. Now you see, it's now that he should be making the sustained effort. He's still got, you know, a quarter of the round left. He should be on top of him now from the very start. No signs of fatigue. I think Heron is beginning to feel the pace himself. Owens has lasted that round too.
Yes, the 1 or 2 occasions that David Owens here has perhaps looked in danger of getting stopped. It's come too late in the round for Sean Heron to take any advantage of it.
There's that right hand, just grazed him, and it's the next body punch that hurts him more so than the head shots. It's that left hook to the body that really hurt him. For a man of 36, he's an amazing character. He's both durable and fresh for a 36-year-old. If you're hanging around this game at 36, I don't think I'd fancy it.
10
Poor
seconds.
Bobby Neal, I guess, relatively satisfied because Heron is well ahead on points.
Seconds out, the 8th and last round.
The old saying, of course, the old saying is, although Heron's in front, if I till it's over, and we've got 3 minutes to go, and this guy owns a tough cookie, I'll tell you. He's got a fairly good right hand, fairly decent right hand. Half of his wins have come on by KO, and he's got a chance.
Well, I reckon Owens will be more than happy to have gone the trip, having taken this fight at pretty short notice, and he's taken some damaging body shots, but he's stuck in there, and you've got to give him 10 out of 10 for that. And he's also, perhaps more satisfactorily from his viewpoint, he's caused Heron more than 1 or 2 problems.
Yeah. He's exposed Heron, he's obviously shown him that you don't knock over all these guys. There's a good right hand and a straight left afterwards. Now Heron has got to go back into the gym and start using that head movement. If he's not going to hold his hands up, he's got to bob and weave and use the head movement to take the sting out of the punches. My advice to him would be to get your bloody hands up, son. That's a silly mistake to fight anybody with your hands down by your waist, and you can't afford to take that chance. We saw recently what happened when the Bethnal Green welterweight knocked out...
Yes, Mickey Hughes?
Yes, Mickey Hughes. He knocked out
Jacobs?
Gary Jacobs
right.
with that left hook as he walked forward. He nice relaxed style, and at one time was trained by Bobby Neal, and made the mistake of hanging his chin out once too often, and Hughes knocked him spark out.
As we, of course, saw live on ProBox. Well, Heron really doesn't want to get involved now. Time running out in this round. Well ahead on points. Doesn't want to mix it.
Clash of heads there, was there?
Little one, no damage.
Back to southpaw again. Walked onto another right hand.
Bobby Neal got a little work to do when they go back in the gym, that's for sure.
He's made a hard job of it. He could have made it easier. But it was a very good performance. He's thrown some lovely punches. He's hurt Owens. What I would have liked seeing him done was to finish the job with those combinations. You never know. Owens is hurt again.
Well, I hope he makes it, because he deserves to go the full trip. But that, if you like, really sums up the whole fight in a nutshell. Heron had his man on the hook, let him off it, and that's happened 3 or 4 times. 10 seconds to the end. Interesting to see how Mike Donovan scores this one. That's it. No surprises. We'll get the point score from Alan Hughes in just a moment. Your thoughts on that one finally, Barry?
Heron's a very good prospect. Some lovely punches, lovely combinations. Very relaxed, but in my opinion, too relaxed. He's got to hold his hands up. If he's not going to hold his hands up, he's got to learn to move his head more often.
And ladies and gentlemen, referee Mike Donovan scores the contest. Dave Owens 77, Sean Heron 79.5. Sean Heron is the winner.
Well, a 5-round margin, about right. But
and ladies and gentlemen, your
Bobby Neal,
appreciation, please.
I fancy, although happy, will have a few things to say in the privacy of the dressing room to his boy, Sean Heron. Words really can't begin to describe the atmosphere With a big fight just 5 minutes away now. We've got more stars ringside than at the planetarium. I tell you, it's easier to get into the Phantom of the Opera than it is to get into the NEC tonight. Time to preview the bite now and take a look at the chances of Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. You have to go back 3 years to when Frank Bruno fought Joe Bugner to come across a fight that's captured the public imagination like this one. Nigel Benn against Chris Eubank. The funny thing is, they really do detest each other. Here's Nigel talking about Chris.
This fight means as much to me, and I can say this, as much to me as my relationship to my fiancée Sharon. I really do detest the guy. It's no height whatsoever.
I've watched him on tapes watching me, right? You know I can take your boy. You're petrified and I know you are. Your boy's mine, it's done. It's a foregone conclusion.
Should I tell you what?
Nigel Benn hasn't fought in Great Britain since that loss to Michael Watson, but he's bounced back in magnificent style, winning the title he defends tonight. The victim, Doug DeWitt. The round 8. Champion of the world and defending with a one-round blitz against Iran Barkley. The media have jumped on the Benn bandwagon and he's branching out into showbiz. He's just cut his first record. It's called Stand and Fight. Maybe that's a message to Chris Eubank. Simply the best is how Chris Eubank regards himself. And he can fight a bit as well. This was how he won the WBC International Middleweight title against Hugo Corti of Argentina. And we were at the Albert Hall for his last fight against the Brazilian Ronaldo dos Santos. Round 1, don't blink, you might miss it. "20 seconds, including the count.
I'm Bruce Mendes standing right here. I want your boy. He belongs to me. He's mine.
That's what one paper has to say. Sobering thought if it's true.
But with him, he's all right. And tomorrow, I will prove that. If I can't prove that, I'll hang up my gloves. And I mean that. I will hang up my gloves.
Well, quite food for thought, isn't it? Guess maybe Nigel Benn's last fight, should he go down tonight against Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank reckons that's going to happen. And he's pretty confident that it will. This was the scene at the lunchtime weigh-in in Birmingham today. Nigel Benn, just the one blemish on his career against Michael Watson. And of those 25 stoppage wins, no fewer than 13 have come inside one round. Nigel Benn, ebullient, 11 stone, 5 3/4 pounds.
11 stone, 5 3/4 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, for Nigel Benn.
And as for Chris Eubank, well, he's so confident about tonight's outcome. He's put £1,000 of his purse at 40 to 1 that he'll win inside a round. Forget the 23 fights, 23 wins, make that 24 years of age, 24 fights, 24 wins. Oh, and as for the weight, 11 stone, 5 1/2.
And Chris Eubank weighed in at 11 stone, 5 1/2 pounds.
So the scene is now set. The hype is over. The talking is over. The fighting begins. Benn against Eubank, live as it happens, next. Well, just drink in this atmosphere. It's quite sensational. In just a moment, the entrance of Chris Eubank, the challenger. Ronnie Davis, his trainer, leading him in. Jim, you've challenged for world titles before.
Yeah, this is a testing moment for Chris Eubank's temperament. You know, he's coming into the unknown really, and I don't know how his temperament's going to handle it. I know he's got the skills to be world champion, but the temperament is something I can't ask for. He's never been there before, so we'll find out when that first bell rings.
Well, Barry, you've defended a world championship. Can you put yourself in the shoes of the champion Nigel Benn?
Yeah, this is everything for Ben. This is his chance to impress at home. In the last hurdle he failed, he was beaten by Michael Watson. This is his chance to avenge or to try to recuperate the admiration of the British public. He has had that all along. He lost a bit of it with the Watson fight. This is his chance to get it back again and to set up a world title fight with Watson. This is it's a tremendous atmosphere. This is a first experience of this sort of atmosphere for me. I've never been at a world title fight before. I've fought in it, but it's a completely different thing for me, obviously, being sitting ringside with stars surrounding me, and an atmosphere like this is just it's just tremendous. It brings back all those nights in the King's Hall and the great night at QPR. Fabulous.
Well, I'm not sure what the hold-up is for. We saw Ronnie Davis leading Chris Eubank out, but maybe Ronnie Davis has left him back in. Chris Eubank's such an unpredictable character, you never really know what's what. It gives us a chance to get your predictions, Jim and Barry. Barry, who do you think is going to win and why?
Well, I'm going to do a bit of fence sitting here. Obviously, this is a very important fight for Chris Eubanks and for Ben. And I think that if the occasion doesn't get to Eubanks and he listens to his advice in the corner and tucks up for the first 4 rounds, he can last out and win the fight inside the distance. I would imagine around 10 or 12 rounds. But he has to make sure and tuck up for those first 4 rounds.
Jimmy?
Well, you know, I believe tonight Chris Eubanks is going to believe his belief in himself, his skill and his courage in abundance. If he falls short in any of them avenues, he could get crushed by Ben. But I feel strongly that if anyone's going to win early, it's going to be Eubank. He's a very, very deceptive guy. He doesn't get hit with single shots and he's very, very accurate. After 4 rounds, you know, at a fast pace, I don't know, this is a world title fight. I don't know how bad Chris wants it. I don't know how Nigel Benn wants it. It could come down to who wants it most.
Well, Eubank is coming out now, weaving his way through. Ronnie Davis there in the red tracksuit top. You can just see Chris, poker-faced, the man with the unbeaten record, the WBC International Middleweight Champion. Barry Hearn leading him in. And this man, the man they love to hate, the Booze. He'll vault over the top rope. He always does. Tonight won't be any different. What I tell you. And he'll just stalk around a little bit.
Well, Eubanks doesn't look overawed to me.
Now, this promises to be quite spectacular. There's Nigel Benn's old regiment, the Fusiliers. They're going to bring him in.
The atmosphere is second to none, absolutely fantastic.
Different class. They can't all be on the payroll, surely.
My adrenaline's buzzing for this, absolutely unbelievable.
Not a seat in the house.
Yeah, everybody's standing up now. Everybody wants to get a glimpse of the fighters entering the ring, and I mean, the atmosphere is just incredible. Here we have it. Here's Nigel Benn coming into the ring.
He made a bit of an entrance like this against Michael Watson at Finsbury Park. Came a bit unstuck afterwards, but the boy's got a sense of the theatre, there's no doubt about that. Chris Eubank, we can see, totally dispassionate. The bass notes are so strong, they're shaking the NEC, I kid you not. There comes the belt, the WBO Championship belt, Ambrose Mendy. Victor Andretti, and a WBO middleweight champion of the world, the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn, and unquestionably the people's favourite, the bookies' favourite. Meanwhile, back in the ring, Eubank has not moved a muscle since getting in.
He does this, you know, as part of self-control. He said very few fighters can get in the ring and stand absolutely static. It's all part of his temperament and control. And he looks magnificent.
He'll need it, Jim. He'll need it tonight, I'll tell you. He'll need it tonight, I'm telling you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be the big night for him, I'll tell you. It's all or nothing.
Ben's going to come out like a wild tiger. Eyeball to eyeball they go.
Ambrose Mendy calming him down a little bit. He is one very, very hyped up guy. Referee Richard Steele, who I feel is going to have his work cut out, keeping order here.
Well, Richard Steele is definitely, he's definitely the best man in the business. No question about it. The best referee in the world, bar none. I just noticed he put a bit of weight on, but definitely the business.
Let's hear from Alan Hughes.
Eyeball to eyeball now, the two fighters.
In association with Top Rank and sponsored by the Daily Mirror, we are proud to present the main attraction of the evening. A middleweight contest at 11 stone 6 pounds over 12 rounds, each of 3 minutes duration, for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Your judges for the contest are Darby Shirley of Las Vegas, John Stewart of New Jersey, and Bob Barrow of Miami in Florida.
3 American judges.
WBO supervisor is Vice President Ed Levine of the United States of America. And your British Boxing Board steward in charge, their Vice Chairman, Nipper Reed. Your referee for the contest is Richard Steele of Las Vegas, and your timekeeper, Harry Foxall of Stoke-on-Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing to you in the blue corner with the white and the red shorts, with 24 wins, with 24 contests, 14 inside the distance, the challenger for the title from Brighton in Sussex, Chris Eubank!
And one of these daft little things that you notice at a world title fight, would you believe there's a butterfly fluttering around in the ring? That's weird.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Eubank is absolutely impassive.
25 inside the distance, defending the title.
25 inside the distance, 13 of them inside 1 round. The Dark Destroyer, the world champion.
This is where the hype stops and the fighting starts.
That's right, mate.
The ring today, Richard Eubank scale, 11 stone, 5.5 pounds. Nigel Benn scale, 11 stone, 5 3/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Don't forget Eubank has got a lot of money on himself to win in the first round.
£1,000 at 40 to 1.
Moment of truth.
The instructions.
Richard Steele won't stand any of Chris's messing and posing. He'll get them on in there and get them started.
Eubank giving Ben the sort of look.
The beginning of
When
what's
somebody
to come.
comes with a tax demand, not friendly. Scheduled for 12 rounds, this is the main event. We've had all the build-up. The pair genuinely do not like each other.
It'll be interesting to see, has Ben learned from his experience against Watson? Will he go in and use a jab, or will he get stuck straight in? I don't think he'll be. There's been so many words crossed and so many bad things said about one another. He'll not be able to refuse a slam up in the first round, I don't think. Here we go.
Well, as you said, Barry, the hype is over. It's time for the fighting. The champ and the challenger. Round one, here we go.
Chris, he's got to keep his hands up. He's going to be unloading Ben.
But he does not want to get trapped in the corner.
That's right. He's come back himself, Chris. Couple of good hooks. Got to get those hands up. Ben is going gunning for him. No messing about here. No fancy boxing. It's just slam bang.
Well, we've yet to really ever discover whether Eubank can take a shot tonight. We will find out if he can.
We certainly will.
And remember, 13 of Ben's fights have ended inside a round. And a further 8 in round 2. This guy does not hang about.
Good right hand from Eubanks. Good right hand. Very good.
And that hurt Ben.
Listen, Ben's legs are shaking. This is trouble for him here. Here we have Chris smiling at him again. He's got to do it all tonight. Definitely hurt Ben with that right hand. But he's got to keep his hands up. That's when Ben's at his most dangerous.
Well, Ben has been telling us all for weeks, or Eubank, I should say, has been telling us all for weeks. Ben is tailor-made for him. We shall see. Not a bad first round for the challenger.
Absolutely not. He's certainly a shaking Ben. Another right hand is shaking.
Through again.
This is exciting stuff. What an atmosphere, I'll tell you. Eubanks is growing in confidence. He's got to keep those hands up because if Ben clips him, he'll know all about it.
Well, Ben's 2 world title victories against Aaron Barkley. Doug DeWitt against fighters arguably past their best. Eubank isn't, that's for sure. And any flaws that Eubank can find in Ben, you can bet your life will be ruthlessly exposed.
The one advantage he has over Ben is he's 2 years younger and he certainly is fresher, but he's got to keep those hands up. I'm a bit worried that he's inclined to drop his hands. Landed a good right hand. He's definitely won this first round, no question about that. I'm surprised at Ben. He's just coming loading up with every shot. He's not trying to box, not trying to jab. He's just coming in there, walking straight in, slam bang. Every punch is a knockout punch. He hasn't learned by his mistake with Watson.
Well, that's the Ben way.
You must not forget that one of those punches can end the fight. So just keep your eyes on this one. This is going to be a good one way or the other.
That's got the Marquis of Queensbury spinning. Richard Steele has none of it. Oh, good right.
Eubanks is very accurate with that right hand. He's smacking him right down the pipe every single time. Ben's starting to use the jab now. That's what he's got to do to beat Eubanks.
End of the first round, definitely the challenger's round.
Here we go with all the posing.
Well, a huge entourage in the Ben corner.
He's not bothering to sit down. This is silly. He should be taking advantage of every second of the break. Unprofessional of him.
Eubanks enjoying a bit of gallery playing there, Barry.
Yeah, certainly is, yeah.
Exciting opening round for him.
Absolutely. That's given him the confidence that he's needed. I think up to now, the occasion has got him a bit. He's certainly he's opened up with a tremendous first round, and he's won that one. Won it well.
By a long stretch.
Vic Andretti, with his back to us. Chief trainer, Ambrose Mendy, just leaning over the ring.
But Chris mustn't be drawn into a false illusion and start taking unnecessary chances against a puncher of the known power of Nigel Benn.
That's the problem. Got to watch that.
Round 2 coming up.
I don't know how the fighters are feeling, but it's tremendous.
Oh, it was an excellent first round for Chris Eubank. Got through.
I think Eubank has lost his ground.
We've noticed in a lot of Eubank's fights, he's got a tendency to get caught, and against a puncher like Ben, that could be so dangerous. Like that!
Good shot. Beautiful right hand from Nigel Benn. Went right down to Eubanks' boots, but he's taken it well.
And again. You just cannot take liberties against a man like Nigel Benn. And Benn tucking up very well as Eubank came in.
Ben looks to me as if he wants to walk right through anything Eubanks can offer.
Well, Eubank can bang a bit.
Little nod of approval from Eubank. I don't know what that was about, maybe because it was missed. Ben's got the eyes of a hunter. He's really going for broke now, as early as the second round.
Ben has said that if Eubank beats him tonight, he'll retire. Well, you can believe that or not, as the case may be, but it just shows how important this fight is in the mind of the champion.
Good shot from Eubank this time.
Good right hand.
Ben's took it well.
And stung the champion, comes back.
Sunk a good body shot in there to Eubank. Ben did caught him underneath the left hook.
Oh, he's a terrific body puncher, is Nigel Benn.
Let's hope these fighters, which they should be, are both in the best of condition, because they're going to need to, the way this is going.
Well, not one single pundit reckon this would go to the full 12. I'll be surprised if it does, I must admit.
None of them have got any butterflies. They haven't wasted no time getting them out of their system.
Eubank having to dance.
Eubank tried the uppercut and come unstuck. Ben caught him with a counter. For a split second, he was in a little bit of trouble.
Tucking up. Living dangerously, the challenger.
And Ben's showing the power to walk through at the moment.
And he's taking a leaf out of Michael Watson's book, The Champ.
This is a war. Good left hook. Ben's out. Ben's out.
And Eubank comes storming him.
Ben is in trouble. That was a brilliant left hook.
Champ on the ropes and taking punishment.
Big trouble. This is
comes back. This is what he did against Logan.
He's at his most dangerous now.
His legs are gone, Ben.
Eubanks has got him. There's big trouble here. This is it. Now what? Be careful.
This is what I was saying all along. Eubanks is accurate to get the man in trouble.
There's the bell. We'll take a break. Don't go far away.
Ben's tremendously shook up there.
You know, we've watched him in the past, and we watched him against DeWitt, and we watched him against Barkley, and he only seems to start going when he gets tired. Eubanks hurt him in that last round. He certainly did, but my worry with Eubanks is that he doesn't take a good body shot, and you know, I'm a bit concerned if Ben starts going for the body. He's got to be careful for these first few rounds. Ben is at his most dangerous when he's hurt. Don't you forget that.
Eubank, small band of supporters in a definite minority, trying to get behind him, but Sims a good right hand and caught and in trouble, but fights back. This is some fight.
Eubanks was hurt, certainly hurt there. Ben is there's no question about it. Ben is an explosive hitter at short distance. No jabs, look, there's no jabs here at all. It's just a complete war. Slam bang.
If we wondered whether Eubank could take a shot, we're finding out tonight. He's talking to Ben now, taunting him. Come and hit me. Well, he's answered the argument so far about his chin.
Good body shot by Eubanks, and the switch with the left hook to the head. Again, the switching from one to the other, and they're both hurt continuously throughout the first two rounds. Incredible fight. We all said it would be exciting whether it lasted 3 rounds or 3 minutes or 12 rounds, and it certainly has lived up to that expectation so far.
Indeed. Eubank, a little swollen, high on the left cheek.
Eubanks looks the more tired of the two. That's a beautiful right uppercut again. Every time
again.
Yes. Oh yes. Now you see. Watch Ben when he gets hurt. Another right hand. Here we go. Look at this.
He really wants a war. Let's rumble.
Let's have a war here.
This man is lethal when he's hurt. He's like a wounded tiger. That's when he is at his most dangerous. And he has been caught with some good shots by Eubank. Like that.
Left jab. Good right hand return from Ben. It's a super fight. Another right hand from Eubanks. Left hook too. Good shot.
Something's got to give.
These are bombs, I'll tell you. Both fighters are tired, and this is only the third round. They've been having a go at one another. There's no question about that.
Ben working for the openings, Eubank. Wonderful reflexes. Oh, legs are wobbling.
Oh, a right uppercut. Look at right hand from Eubank.
What can you say about this fight? But I've got to say, Barry, that Eubank is looking a little shaky at this point.
Certainly is, yeah. He looks the more tired of the two, and he certainly looks shaky. He slumped down on his stool there. I tell you, he took advantage of that 60 seconds, right down first thing, and that's what he should have been doing from the start. What a fight, I'll tell you.
Jimmy, every time Eubank comes through to Ben and hurts him, Ben seems to move up a gear.
Yeah, as Barry was saying earlier, this is Nigel's great strength. When he's in trouble, he's at his most dangerous, and he proved it yet again in that round. The pace of this fight is tremendous. One, it's going to catch up to one of them very, very soon. They both look tired, as Barry was saying, and who wants it most, as we were saying earlier?
Well, Ben's conditioning against Eubank's conditioning, the ability to take a punch. Round 4 coming up, and both men have absorbed a bit of stick so far, but Eubank did look tired at the end of that round.
I'll tell you what, both fighters have put enough work in the opening for 3 rounds to last for a 12-round contest. Tremendous. A lot of hatred being expended. The concentration on both of their faces, in their eyes, is something for everyone to look at and say, Jesus, look at that right hand. Oh, Ben showing what he's learnt in the States.
Ben smiles through the pain, covers up. A lot of those shots are going on the arms and on the gloves. A few of them are getting through though.
And Eubank's expending a lot of energy there as well. Quality punches as he was letting them go, but he's put a lot into it. He was all asking what Nigel's learnt in the States, but he showed there, he shook it off, done a little bit of possum playing, and still in the fight.
Ben's left eye closing, swollen. Cheek looking very puffy. Chris Eubank cut about the mouth. Well, you can't have bombs like this flying around without signs of damage.
Eubank knows how to pace out a round as well. He's stealing the breather he needs right now, if you notice. Not throwing nothing, but still thinking, red alert. He needs to be. Ben's right in front of him.
The pattern emerging now. Eubank fighting in little clusters. About 15-30 seconds worth of activity. A little break. Good way of conserving energy when you're fighting at this pace. The body shot hurt.
It certainly did. It went right down to Chris's boots. That was a tremendous shot. This is a war. You know, boxing at this level, this is what it's all about. Skill, guts, pride, it's all there.
Eubank forced to hold for dear life.
He took a big right hand there, Dave. Bang on. But Ben's eyes come up alarmingly.
Yeah, the left eye.
And Eubank knows it.
Must be very disconcerting. Ben smiling, snarling at the challenger.
He never used to do that.
All the body shots, they do hurt.
They certainly do.
Ben always moving, looking for the opening.
Both guys have shown they can take each other's best shots.
We're going to take a break right now. Back at the end of the break. Welcome back. Round 5. And, you know, the great Michael Nunn, the IBF middleweight champion in the crowd tonight. He might have to fight one of these boys. I'm sure he doesn't relish that prospect too greatly.
Both fighters are very tired. The referees have very little to do. Look at Ben's left eye.
Ben's left eye is in a horrible state. It's almost closed.
Completely. He hurt Eubanks with some tremendous left hooks and right hands to the body. Now it's all down to who's the fittest. I'm telling you, this is not a fight. This is not a boxing match. This is a complete war. Referees have very little to do. Just pull them apart and let them get on with it again. What a fight. It's been fantastic.
Well, we thought if there was a little chink in Eubank's arm, it would be the body shots, and Nigel Benn's been exploiting that, and he has hurt Eubank. There is no doubt about that. He's made the challenger
There's no question
suffer.
about that, and I'm sure he's going to be told by Vic Andretti in the corner to go for his body, but the problem is while he's coming forward, he's leaving himself open.
But that right eye looks a bit of an alarmist there. It's not cut, it's just grotesquely swollen.
Absolutely.
Just a little slit, and of course with Eubank bombing over the big right hands, that puts the champ at an enormous disadvantage.
See what Eubanks is doing now, he's threatening to throw punches, but he's not actually throwing them when he's taking a rest. And Ben's falling for it, he's making the mistakes of dropping his hands himself. I'm afraid to open my mouth here, because every time I say something, the other one gets on top.
Oh, and the left gets through to Ben.
Eubanks is coming forward now himself. He's taking the initiative.
Well, Eubank has taken some of Ben's best shots, and the ones around the head, he's proved he can take them. The body shots to him are the danger.
They've both got to take a rest now. The pace of the fight has slowed down a bit because they're both tired. It's been so many bombs been thrown in the first couple of rounds that they're both extremely tired, and they're both trying to use the jab now and feel each other out. Ben's eye is closing rapidly. God, that must have been some right hand.
Yeah, people talk about that Hearns and Hagler war. This isn't far behind, I tell you that.
This is our domestic Hearns and Hagler, yes.
You said it, Barry. And Eubank growing in confidence, having a good round, the challenger.
This is a rest round for both fighters. Haven't been getting close. Eubanks has kept it at a distance. It's been a good educational round for him. He's been thinking it through, taking his time, taking a rest. And Ben has allowed him to get away with it up to now. Dare I say it. These guys will have respect for each other. If they didn't before, they'll have it after this fight. Whichever ones wins.
Challengers round.
Definitely. Eubank seems to have slipped into a groove now. He's almost enjoying what he's doing.
Every time he wins a round, Jimmy, watch what he does. He walks around and poses. He should be taking advantage of every single second of the break that he has, because he's tired. Like, he's not cutting anybody by walking around and posing. He should be taking a rest, taking his time, filling his lungs up with air and getting washed down with cold water to try and revive himself for the next round.
Well, you can see the Ben corner working on that damaged left eye. They've got the iron out. Cold iron. Ambrose Mendy looking a little bit anxious.
Well, Eubank has answered the question that I posed at the beginning. He certainly hasn't froze. If anything, he's rose to the occasion. And right now, this title's really up for grabs.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. It's in the balance here, and boils down to who's the fittest, who wants it the most.
Eubanks believes when the bell went, the title was vacant. Sneering at Ben, talking to him.
Round 6. Of this titanic struggle for the WBO middleweight championship of the world.
Eubanks doesn't want to get sloppy. He wants to stick what he's doing. He's boxing well, but he's starting to get involved in the showboating and making silly boxing mistakes, which are crazy at this level, especially against the punch of Nigel's proven power.
The corner haven't been able to do much with Ben's left eye in the intra round.
It's getting into a bit of outsmarting each other match, and that'll suit Eubanks. You know, Nigel's game is to rumble forward. He said himself publicly he's a fighter, he's a slugger. That's what he needs to do to retain his title. He's not going to outbox Chris Eubank.
Well, of course, the pace has noticeably dropped, but there's no way they could have kept the first 4 rounds up. That was Grand Prix stuff.
I'm just wondering how concerned Ben is about that eye, but he's talking back to Eubank now.
Referee Steele says, come on guys, let's have some action.
As Eubank never turned out at the press conference yesterday, maybe Nigel's telling him what he wanted to tell him.
The eye, at least from Ben's viewpoint, not getting any worse. It is not completely closed. He will still have some vision out of it. Oh, the right lead. Oh, that's low, and Eubank in trouble and hurt.
It's moments like this can turn fights, you know, depending on the reaction from the other fighter. Chrissy just caught Nigel with a good right hand.
Now, the rule says that the referee can give him as long as he likes to recover from this. He'll use his own initiative. He'll decide when he's ready to go on, but he's allowed to have as much time as he likes to recover from that blow.
Sensible advice from Nigel Benn's corner, telling him to keep his hands up. He needs to. Eubank is getting very accurate with the right hand.
Oh, maybe the writing on the wall now for the challenger. The body shots clearly hurting him, and that shot into the cup. He's got to get on his bike.
Chopped in a right hand there. Nigel's really putting the pressure on now. Chris responding. They're trying to fight back at every opportunity.
And Ben is going to be winging in these body shots, you can be sure of that now. That's his route to victory.
There's respect, as Barry said, from both fighters now. There's no question about that.
Those body shots are starting to cut Eubank in half.
Let's give Ben the green lights, and he knows what to aim for.
We're going to take another break at the end of this round.
Ben's eyes holding up as well.
Yes, it's not getting, the corner haven't been able to improve it, but at least it's not getting worse.
Oh, that's a good right.
That won't help it.
He's in trouble now.
We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Took it well.
Let's take another look at the low punch.
Yeah, this is very low indeed, right up the cup, and he deserved all the time he wanted there to recover from that.
And Eubank looking aggrieved. How dare you?
The problem is, in this next round, Ben's going to go for him, because those body punches hurt him. There's no question, and you can't shake off the effects of the body punches, whereas you can shake off the effects of a head punch. You can clear your head in a round or two. You can't take away the effects of body shots. What a combination of punches there. This is a superb fight. One of the best domestic fights I've seen in a long, long time. And because of its importance, it will last forever, I'll tell you.
Well, the last fight to capture the public imagination, as I said earlier, was Bruno against Bugner, but that was a contest between two mismatched boxers, but this is for real.
And this is a tremendous fight. Eubanks is watching his Ben's body shots. They're really hurting him, and he's got to keep him away from him. That's the thing. He's got to keep him away from him, and he's much more effective. Ben, as you watch Ben when he's been pushed back, he hasn't an idea what to do. It's when he's coming forward that he's dangerous. When he's been pushed back, he is not effective. He nullifies Ben's power and strength when he comes at him. That's what he's got to do. Feint, come forward, use the jab, keep him back, take his time and rest, and then throw his combinations.
Just short with the right. If you like, it's the body punches going to do it for Ben. The right hand are going to do it for Eubank. Ben spitting blood. Suspicion that Eubank's elbow caught him in the mouth.
This is a war of
a foul each, if you like.
That's what
Eubank getting the jab to work.
That jab, push Ben back, and then work on his combinations. Ben, on the other hand, has got to come forward, whack Eubanks about the body, and then switch to the head. You know, they say when 8 rounds go by, or 6 rounds go by of a very difficult and tough fight, your thinking goes out the window, and it's the guy who's the fittest who's able to think under pressure, even when he's tired. Oh, that's for a right hand. My God!
And the left. And Ben groggy, and the left eye completely closed now. The champion in desperate trouble on the ropes. The left eye completely closed.
Badly shaken.
But spitting defiance at the challenger.
He's badly hurt.
Oh. Coming back. Again. Steele says fight on.
There was at least one of those body shots that went straight below the belt, but Eubanks is really feeling those body shots. He can't allow Ben to come in. He's got to do what he's done earlier on in the round. Keep him away and hit him as he's coming forward.
Ben has only got one eye left. He cannot see out of that left eye now. Good round for the challenger, despite the late flurry by the champ.
Absolutely brilliant. This is one of them fights that is good to watch and not so great to be involved in.
I tell you, we've had 7 rounds. You can't pick a winner. Let's take a look at this now. Look at this.
That's that right hand. Oh, I tell you what, that is a shot and a half. It went right down to his boots, and yet he shook his head in defiance and called Eubanks to him, which Eubanks can't afford to do because of those tremendous lethal body punches that Ben's throwing.
Fair credit to Nigel. You know, people have been asking questions about his chin, but I think he's answered a few of them tonight, because he certainly stayed there for a tremendous right hand from Chris Eubank.
But I tell you, that eye is going to be a fearful handicap now. The corner are working flat out on it, but that solid dynamite right hand from Eubank closed that eye. Now, what have the corner managed to do? Nothing. Round 8.
You can't say the fight's warmed up. It's been in top gear from round 1. I don't know how you've got it scored, Dave, if it's going to go to a decision, but it's got to be a very difficult one to score.
I've got Eubank a notch ahead, but if you were to argue the other way, I wouldn't disagree.
Now, Eubank's adopted the right policy, challenging for a world title. He's gone out there to try and take it off of Nigel Benn. He isn't trying to steal it. The hunter is now being hunted at this stage of the game.
Ben is fighting like a true champion. He has taken an awful lot, and that eye damage is wicked. He's never been hurt as well. Oh, right hand and down.
Chris disputing that he got caught, but
compulsory 8. I don't know what Eubank was complaining about.
This is a war in every sense of the word.
Back comes Eubank, and back comes Ben.
Eubank keeping himself together under the sustained assault from Nigel Benn, staying cool and calm and collected, which is very important for him to do. Coming back with good shots of his own as well. This fight certainly lived up to all the hype and ballyhoo.
And more.
Absolutely.
Crowd getting behind Ben.
Good right hand from Nigel there as well.
Eubank composed.
Is he ever? But full credit to both fighters. They've both gone out there as one expected and lived up to everything they predicted.
Well, we had the first knockdown, remember, in this round. Ben down with the right. No, Eubank, I should say. Eubank, stop complaining, get on with the fight.
In Ben's corner, they're absolutely screaming frantically at him to come forward and throw shots. They seem to feel that Eubanks is in a lot of distress. But Chris is the master of kidology.
Crowd once again bring up the chants of Nigel.
A lot of venom being pumped out. The quality of the fight stayed top of the range right the way through.
I don't know why Eubank doesn't go straight back to his corner. It seems a daft thing to me.
This is this right hand on the back of the head. In actual fact, Eubanks was complaining that he'd slipped on the water in the corner, but that was it seemed like a half decent right hand over the top. And of course he complained all the way through the count to the referee.
Gives the round to Nigel Benn, though. How would you score it at the moment, Barry? I know you're not keeping a scorecard, but general impression of the way it's going.
Well, remember, Ben is the champion, and it's always difficult to beat the champion without beating him convincingly. And at the moment, Eubanks is, I feel, slightly behind.
And let's not forget we have 3 American judges, and American judges play great store on aggression.
Definitely.
Here we have the 9th round. These guys are in some condition. It seems like now Ben has had a round of success where he's put Eubanks on the floor and he's hurt him a couple of times, and he's now growing in confidence. Eubanks has got to keep his composure, use the jab and hit Ben as he walks in, because he's only got the one eye. He can't see that right hand travelling over the top. If he disguises it with a left jab, he can cross the right hand very quickly and can end the fight, because both fighters are very, very tired.
And you start wondering now whether this might possibly go the full 12.
That's what Eubanks has got to do. Every time he hurts Ben, Ben stands on the ropes and calls him forward. He's got to stay away, because he punches better from a distance, and he's much more damaging puncher from a distance, whereas Ben hits most devastatingly in close. He's a hooker and an uppercutter, and those body punches in close are just lethal. He's got to stay away and hit him from a distance. If you notice all the way through the rounds, Dave, the previous rounds, the only punches that have badly hurt Eubanks are the body shots. Even the one in the last round that put him down, he still shook off the effects of it, but it's the body punches that have been hurting him up to now. He's got to keep him at distance, and he won't get hit with those body shots.
Next door, keep winging in. Eubank complaining to referee Richard Steele, still having none of it.
This is the sort of a fight that makes you an old man. There's only so many of these fights left in anybody. And let's not forget that Nigel Benn has had quite a few wars in the last 2 years. So are we saying that Eubanks is fresher at this stage? I don't know, I'll tell you. Condition of both fighters is tremendous.
Oh, that was a slip. No knockdown. No knockdown. Just a slip.
Good refereeing from...
Eubank scoring well with the jab this round.
Oh, right.
Oh,
this is it.
Gone.
This is the end of it.
Gone.
This is the end. This is the end. Referee's got to step in soon.
Ben trying to come back. I think this is a desperate round for the champion. He was so tired.
He's really at 6s and 7s here. He's in big trouble. Eubanks has got to take this opportunity. Here we go.
It's all over. It's all over. He said what he would do, and he has gone out and done it.
I hate to say I told you so, but I did say it would be a late round stoppage for Chris Eubanks, and I'm right.
What a fight. Brilliant.
Absolutely lethal.
Right at the top drawer, up there with the best fights I've ever seen.
One of the best. Fantastic.
Well, I tell you, it is a privilege to have been at ringside for this fight. The man is extraordinary.
And here we have the two fighters coming together. They've both got admiration for each other. They'll put their arms around one another and say, well done. What a fight.
It was a tremendous decision from Richard Steele. Absolutely wonderful refereeing. Ben gave it all. Eubank almost out on his feet. We're going to talk to the new champion now. Gary Newbon's up there. Chris Eubank.
The WBO Championship belt will now be presented to the winner, Chris Eubank.
25 fights, 25 wins, and the new WBO champion of the world. Benn's second title defence ends in defeat. Let's hear now from the new champ and join Gary Newbon.
Unexpected by a lot of people, but you said all along you would win.
the WBO middleweight champion of the world is Chris Eubank.
I've never known you lost for words, so I know you're very emotional, but we'd love to know all about that back at home.
He's the hardest punch I've ever seen. He's the hardest punch I've ever come up against in my life. I don't know. I beat him on determination. Karen, I told you I'd do it. Well, I was supposed to do it, but I knew I'd do it. He was good, but yeah, I stuck with it, and he hurt me bad, man. But he's good. But I told you my chin is cast iron. I told you they couldn't touch it. If anyone can touch somebody's chin, it's Nigel Benn. Karen, can we get married now? Can we get married?
Listen, this is a new site.
Marry me, Karen.
You want to get married now?
Yeah, I want to get married.
Well, you're in all sorts of emotions. Can I just say this? You are crying now. Now, all we've seen is an arrogant Chris Eubank. This is an emotional Chris Eubank.
He extended me like I've never known one could be extended. He's discipline animal. I mean, his strength is he's not animal. You come over to me, you shake hands, and he's an unbelievable puncher. And I said I wouldn't embrace him or anything, but you see, he's won my respect, you see, because he held me up the guts. He opened my tongue's open. He hit me with shots I never knew existed.
But you keep saying that, but the thing about this fight is you have hit him with so many shots that have had him rocking.
Listen, this man ain't chinny. His name can't be chinny. I hit him with everything, man. Karen, I've done it. Dad, I love you, Dad, I've done it. Come on.
It's an amazing performance, and it's surprised a lot of people.
I need to go to the hospital. Thank you.
You can see the end of it, actually. Listen, I'm sure you'd love to see the end of it. Chris?
Yeah?
Talk to us about it.
My corner, Ronnie Davis kept on telling me the 1-2, the left, the straight left and right hand. The right hand over the top with a straight right hand, and I just kept on trying. He said I was going to lose it, so I could nick it, but I was going to lose it. But this man is a phenomenal puncher. Don't give up, Nigel.
But Chris, Michael Nunn was watching at ringside. Now, looking at if you're going to go forward, you're going to have to start keeping your guard up.
Sometimes my guard being down helps. I don't know. I'm in too much pain to talk, really.
What? Pain?
I'm in too much pain to talk. Excruciating this.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. The new WBO middleweight champion of the world.
Nigel Benn in the ring. He has the PA microphone. Let's see if we can hear what he's saying. He's saying he's sorry. He let his fans down. He was on the ropes just above us, almost in tears. Ambrose Mendy looks like he can't believe what's happened. Well, he said he'd retire if he lost. Well, scenes of bedlam here, but no doubt about the result. A 9th round stoppage for Chris Eubank. Great way to propose to your girlfriend, I must say, asking her to marry you after you won a world title. Well, nearly at the end of this show. No peace for the wicked, though, Jim and I. Down in Cardiff tomorrow for the Commonwealth Light Welter title fight between Tony Akubia and David Chibui. Next Saturday, Viva España, but Almudena, Bomber Graham against Julian Jackson. You never know. We've got one middleweight champion. We could have two by this time next week. A wonderful night, an emotional night, and a night when ultimately Chris Eubank's dream came true. From Barry, from Jim, from me, and from all of us here, bye-bye.